Picasso's may be starting a new trend here in San Marcos. It's for people of all ages. Owner and Texas State alum Charlie Reno opened Personal Picasso last November. Reno says although business started off slowly, it soon gained momentum.
It was a little slow at first. People are having a hard time finding that we're here, but it's really starting to pick up and we're seeing more and more people coming in every day. So it's been pretty exciting. We're putting more and more parties on the schedule and it's getting a little more busy.
What attracts many of Personal Picasso's customers is the one-of-a-kind experience. Barbara Espinoza was excited to come in for the first time with a bottle of champagne and see what all the hype is about.
It looks interesting. I've seen that my sister's done it before, and I really want to take one of these pictures home and display it in my house.
Texas State art students are invited to be a part of a week-long art show. The show is free to the public, but if there are any donations, they will go to the Fine Arts Student Association. Reno says this has been one of her goals since she opened the studio.
So one of my goals when I opened this place was to be able to also host art shows for the students. I was a student here at Texas State, an art student, and I had a lot of my artwork just kind of stuffed away in my garage and never had anywhere to show it. So, and I know it's hard to get in some of like those coffee shops. So I really wanted to have a place where I could allow the students to come in and show their work.
Texas State students will soon be able to view finished artwork made by veterans in the quad today. A group called the Peace Paper Project has had a 5-year collaboration with the Texas State Veterans Alliance to reach out to those affected by war. Veterans were asked to bring their old uniforms and transform them into paper art. The idea behind the project is to help veterans deal with their experiences through art therapy. Once the art pieces dry, they will be displayed in the Vats Cave at the LBJ Student Center.
Texas State has a sizable student population, which means that there are high demands placed on the variety of eateries on campus. Lately, though, Jones Dining Hall has been closed for renovations, and 2 popular eateries at the LBJ Student Center have restricted when meal trades can be used. Students cannot use meal trades at Chick-fil-A or Blimpies before 1 p.m., and that means students have to use other dining services.
I definitely have a lot of friends that ask me all the time, like, why don't you serve meal trades before 1 o'clock? Like, I love their breakfast food, and, you know, they just go to Commons instead, and we lose that business.
Although Chick-fil-A and Blimpies aren't accepting meal trades before 1, they're still attracting a lot of customers.
Because all my classes end at like 11, and I'd be pretty hungry after class, and I want to eat. So I usually I go to Einstein's Bagels, and I go eat something there, and then I come back really later to eat.
The 2 franchises are located on the first floor of the LBJ lair. For Bobcat Update, I'm Ellis English.
This year marked the 30th anniversary of the Great Texas River Cleanup. About 700 volunteers participated in the event Saturday in an effort to help preserve the beauty of the San Marcos River and help the local wildlife thrive. Some volunteers were on foot along the banks, while others hopped in canoes to get further down the river.
This is the Greater Texas River Cleanup because they clean from the headwaters of the river all the way down to Cummins Dam. So it includes a lot of partnerships.
Texas State graduate students with an interest in sustainability were also on hand to study what type of trash has the biggest impact on the river.
We're just opening up the bags when they bring them back, not all of them, just some of them, to double check and make sure that we understand what is being dropped on the ground or blown into the ditches that might end up in the river.
Keeping the river clean would be a lot easier if people would pay more attention.
Whatever you bring on the river, make sure you take off the river. Just pretty much pack in, and basically whatever you pack in, pack it out.
For Bobcat Update, I'm Chris Simmons.
This year's spring break is from March 16th through the 19th, and what better way to spend the week off than by traveling? This year, Texas State is hosting 4 trips for any student who wants to go and explore nature.
Student Volunteer Connection has been doing Bobcat Break for a while now. This year we're taking 4 trips, which I think is the biggest that we've ever been able to do, to Killeen, Arkansas, New Orleans, and Austin.
For those who want to attend, spots are filling up fast, and the best way to sign up is by going to the Campus Activities and Student Organizations desk located on the 4th floor of LBJ. For those students who aren't able to leave campus, some dorms will remain open. However, the dining halls won't.
Students that are living on campus, they have to leave for spring break. So nobody's actually residing here except for a handful of, say, people who don't have a place to go for spring break or international students.
And, of course, Sewell Park is always a great place to spend time, whether you want to rent kayaks or work on your tan. For Bobcat Update, I'm Ellis English. And welcome back. Keaton is out of the studio shortly, so Haley and I are taking over. And just a quick thought, Haley, let's hear it.
All right, random thought, everybody. Remember how Trix had all those shapes as a kid, and now they are all just like the same puffs or circles? So what if Trix is still shaped, but we can't see them because we are now adults, and Trix are for kids?
You know, that is mind-blowing.
I thought so.
That's crazy.
That's why we had to, like, get it in here real quick while he's gone. He has no idea we just totally did that.
Yeah. This is going to go under the best of segment because it's just us.
That's right. But it's definitely an idea because, I don't know, it's just, I don't even see Trix commercials that much anymore, actually, come think of it.
I don't either. But then again, we don't have cable.
Oh, well. All right. Yeah. Well, back to the tunes, I guess.
Next up, we have The Kind of Good Night by Tiger Tiger.
Welcome back. That was Karaoke, Tennessee by Jeff the Brotherhood. And now it's time for the shower thought. Ellis.
So my shower thought of the day. There's a myth that states when you're dreaming, when you're in a dream, and you fall to your death, the myth is that when you have that dream, you actually die, right? So you die in reality, right?
Uh-huh.
If that were true, how would we know that the myth is true?
That's a good point.
Because the person will be dead. They can't relay it back to us. Maybe you can do a Ouija board. I don't know. But let's say that you don't do things like that, like Ellis doesn't.
Uh-huh.
How would you know?
That is really interesting. I never thought about it that way.
Think about that.
I have been thinking about that's definitely a shower thought. I can tell you that much. Good Lord. Wow, that makes me depressed almost.
So it's kind of like the thought of, like, when you fall and then you wake up anyways. So when you hit the ground, though, you die.
Exactly.
That's what I thought. But, I mean, you never hit the ground.
That's a good point. That's scary regardless. I don't like to... oh, man, getting all Inception on us here. Okay, here's my shower thought. When I was a kid, people got really upset if you read their diaries. These days, kids put their diaries on the internet, and they get upset if you don't read them. Man, is that true or what?